What would it mean if you could give your brain a direct instruction, a clear, calm command to let go of a painful memory? Not to forget it, not to bury it, but to strip away the emotional charge it has attached to it so it no longer controls how you feel or how you behave. That's not science fiction. That's the foundation of a process called MAP, Memory Access Processing, and also Make Anything Possible. And today we're going to break down one of its most powerful components, and that is commanding the superconscious mind. My name's Alicia, and I appreciate you joining me for this video. Please hit that like button. It's a free and easy way to help my channel. It helps a lot, and I really appreciate it. I'm going to walk you through what commanding actually is, the different types of commands that you can use, and especially how to apply them. Whether you're a practitioner working with clients or someone exploring this process for your own healing, let's get into it. First, let's clarify what we mean when we talk about commanding the superconscious mind, because it might not be what you think. Commanding is not about control. It's about forcing a particular outcome or bending the mind to your will. That's not how any of this works. In fact, any attempt to force a result like that will fall flat. What commanding actually does is simpler and more elegant. It creates a decision to change. Think of it like this. Your superconscious, the part of your mind that stores, processes, and manages your memories, is always working. It's running in the background, cross-referencing your experiences, filing emotional data, flagging unresolved events. Commanding gives it a specific instruction. This memory, right here, right now, let's neutralize it. You're not doing the heavy lifting. You're just pulling the trigger. You're creating the space for change to happen, and then your mind does the rest on its own. This is important to internalize because one of the most common mistakes that people make with this process is thinking that they need to do more. They give a command and then immediately wonder if it worked, or try to mentally force the result. That actually interrupts the process. The command is enough. You state it clearly, you state it with intention, and then let your brain process it. Now, let's talk about a word that you're going to hear repeatedly in the MAP process: treat. In MAP, when we say treat a memory, we mean one specific thing. Neutralize the emotional charge attached to it. A memory that is highly charged with anger, fear, shame, or grief has power over you. It shapes how you react, how you interpret situations, and how you see yourself. Treating a memory takes it from charged to neutral. It doesn't erase the memory. The event still happened, but it loses its grip. Imagine a piece of music that used to make you break down in tears every time you heard it. And then one day, you can listen to it and simply appreciate it for what it is. The memory is still there. The meaning hasn't been erased, but the charge is gone. That's what treating is. Now, a quick but important note: in some contexts, the word treat carries medical or clinical implications. So sometimes MAP practitioners are free to substitute it with other words that carry the same meaning. Meaning, you instead might use dissolve, neutralize, clear, or release. Personally, for me, dissolve is a favorite because it creates a useful mental image, like the dissolving of emotion, out of the memory in a way that a solvent can dissolve a substance. But use whatever word feels clear and natural to you. What matters is the intention behind it. All right, with that foundation in place, let's move into the 4 key components that you'll be working with when constructing a command. The first major component beyond a basic command is something called the massive change history. Here's the core idea. No painful memory exists in isolation. Every memory that you have that carries a negative emotional charge is connected to a network of similar memories. Events that felt the same way, that triggered the same emotions, that reinforced the same beliefs about yourself and the world. So when you treat a single memory, say a specific argument that you had with someone, you might find that the charge is partially still there. Why? Because that memory is anchored to a whole history of similar arguments, similar betrayals, similar moments of feeling unheard or disrespected. The massive change history addresses all of that at once. It instructs the superconscious not just to treat this one event, but to look back through the entire timeline of similar experiences and neutralize them all. Think of it as a ripple effect. You treat the surface memory, and the command reaches backward through time, clearing every memory that resonates at that same emotional frequency. In practice, this is incorporated into your command phrase. Instead of just saying, Superconscious, please treat this subject, you would say, Superconscious, please treat this subject and do a massive change history and everything after that. It's a simple addition, profound impact. That second component is called the sentence procedure. And it's one of the most powerful tools in the MAP toolkit. Here's the premise. Every goal, belief, or identity statement you hold is surrounded by a cloud of secondary thoughts, reactions, doubts, fears, excited associations, old wound memories. The moment you say something like, I am worthy of success, or I deserve healthy relationships, your subconscious instantly cross-references that statement against everything that is filed away. And depending on what it finds, you'll feel resistance, doubt, excitement, or fear. Those reactions, those are triggers. And triggers are unresolved memories creating an interference. The sentence procedure works like this. You take a phrase, a goal, a belief, an affirmation, and you repeat it. Each time you repeat it, you notice what gets triggered, and you treat those triggers. You repeat the phrase again. More triggers may arise. You treat those. You continue until the phrase can be stated with no resistance whatsoever. Let's use a concrete example. You say the phrase, I am capable, successful, and professional. For some people, that totally lands clean. For others, the mind immediately fires back. No, you're not. Remember when you failed at that project? You're not as good as your colleague. Those are triggers. Those are charged memories. And each one of those can be treated. And when you've cleared all the interference around a phrase, something remarkable happens. You don't just believe it more, you own it. It stops being a hope and starts being a reality that you've integrated at the level of memory. To use this in a command, you'd say something like, Superconscious, please do the sentence procedure on the phrase, I am capable, successful, and professional, and do a massive change history and everything after that. The third component involves something MAP calls associations. And there are two distinct types worth understanding. The first type is called with associations. These are emotional connections between memories. Think of all the memories that you have that share the same emotional quality, or say, a feeling of excitement. You felt it when you played your first sport, when you got your first job offer, when you fell in love for the first time. These memories aren't logically related, but emotionally, they're all wired together through that feeling of excitement. That's a with association. The second type is called to associations. These are logical if-then chains. For example, if I fail at this, then I'm a failure. If I'm a failure, then I don't deserve good things. If I don't deserve good things, then I'm fundamentally not enough. Each step in that chain is linked to the next through cause and effect logic. It's a to association. So why does this matter for commanding? Because when you include associations in your command, you cast a wider net. Instead of treating one memory, you're instructing the superconscious to treat everything emotionally linked to it, or everything logically downstream from it. In command form, you'd say something like, Superconscious, please treat all memories associated with shame. And the with associations mean it will reach every memory stored under that emotional signature. Now, let's put all this together and look how commands are actually structured, from the very most basic to the most layered. The basic command at its simplest, a command just like this. Superconscious, please treat this. That's it. Straightforward, intentional, yet effective. Don't underestimate it. When applied correctly, with focus, with conviction, and with patience, even the basic command can produce significant results. The standard command is to add the massive change history and everything after that. You'll get the command and you'll use that one most frequently. Superconscious, please treat this subject and do a massive change history and everything after that. This is the workhorse of the MAP process. Try to memorize it and use it often. Commands with associations, when the issue is broader or more systemic, you can add associations. Superconscious, please treat all memories associated with this feeling. This is particularly useful when a client or yourself notices a recurring emotional pattern that seems to show up across many different situations or relationships. Metaphorical commands, you can also use imagery and metaphor to make commands more vivid and engaging for your mind. Such as, Superconscious, please dissolve these memories and build new ones to replace them. The brain responds powerfully to imagery. If dissolving resonates, use it. If melting, releasing, or clearing feels more natural, use one of those. The language should serve the intention. The sentence procedure command, and finally, for belief work. Superconscious, please do the sentence procedure on the phrase, fill in the blank, your statement, and do a massive change history and everything after that. Knowing what a command contains is only half the picture. Let's talk about how to actually deliver one, because the delivery matters. Step 1, know what you're commanding. You need to be aware of the subject that you're directing the command towards. Whether that's a specific memory, a sensation in the body, an emotional pattern, or a belief. Don't just throw a command in the general direction of feeling bad, quote unquote. Get specific. Step 2, focus on it. Direct your attention towards the subject. Really feel it, or picture it, or just hold it in your awareness. This is how you load the command. You're ensuring the mind knows exactly where to direct its processing. Step 3 is command with conviction. State the command clearly, calmly, and with full intention. Not as a question, not with apology, as a decision. There's a meaningful difference between superconscious maybe treat this, I think, and superconscious please treat this subject. One sounds like hesitation or a suggestion. The other one sounds like an instruction from someone in authority. You are the boss here. Own it. Step 4, wait and be patient. This is where many people stumble. They give the command, then immediately try to assess whether it worked. That's like planting a seed and then digging it up to check and see if it's growing. Give the command some time and trust the process. And one more practical note. If you're working with another person, rapport matters. A client feels safe, seen, and supported. Commands land far more effectively. The nervous system needs to be relaxed for deep processing to happen. Create that environment. So let's bring this all together. Commanding the superconscious is not a mystical act. It's a focused, intentional instruction delivered with clarity and conviction that signals the processing centers of your mind that it's time to neutralize this. You've learned the core vocabulary: treat, dissolve, neutralize. You've learned the 4 building blocks: the basic command, the massive change history, the sentence procedure, and associations. And when you've learned how to deliver a command that actually lands, here's your homework. Notice something, a sensation, a feeling, or a recurring thought. Focus on it and say out loud or silently, "Superconscious, please treat this subject," and do a massive change history and everything after that. Then wait. Be patient. But notice what shifts. If you want to go deeper, I'd strongly recommend heading over to my website for my free resources, an interactive downloadable journal called Manifestation Dream Life Journal. There's links to my embodied manifestation online toolkit, or to schedule a one-on-one map session with me. And if you found this valuable, like and subscribe and share it with someone who could use it. And if you have questions, leave them in the comments. I read them all. I read everything and I will respond. Until next time, as always, self-love first, always. I will see you in the next video. Have a wonderful rest of your day, soul family. Take care. Bye-bye.